Hello, this is Roger Wadnell, Comprehensive Planning Manager with the City of Lakewood. This is a presentation to the Planning Commission for the April 9th, 2025 public hearing. During the April 9th presentation, a recap of the planning and engagement process will be shared again, as well as the core elements in the Envision Lakewood 2040 final draft plan. Details for the implementation framework will also be discussed. We will begin with discussing planning process and timeline. What is the comp plan? The purpose of the comprehensive plan is to define a holistic, shared vision for the future of Lakewood over the next 15 years and to identify the goals, strategies, and policy direction to achieve this community vision. This process has been intended to include all voices in the community. The city will use the comprehensive plan as a framework for future decision-making regarding land use, housing, transportation, climate action, neighborhood vitality, equity, and more. Since its incorporation in 1969, the City of Lakewood has adopted 4 comprehensive plans. This updated comprehensive plan will address many of the new opportunities and challenges that have come up since the current comprehensive plan, Lakewood 2025, Moving Forward Together, was developed and adopted in 2015. The multi-year planning process for the comprehensive plan update includes 4 phases as outlined on this slide. The first phase, which was primarily internal, launched in late 2022 and was completed in December 2023. The second phase, which launched the public engagement part of the process, started in January 2024 and continued through early 2025. A Planning Commission study session on February 19th of this year kicked off the third phase of this process and includes upcoming meetings with the Planning Commission and City Council. Phase 4 will be initiated after the comprehensive plan is adopted. The implementation strategy will be developed, which is anticipated to include metrics and a way to quantitatively and qualitatively track the progress of implementing the plan. This is a very important part of the process.
Hello, my name is Christy Ivanoff. I am a senior planner with the Comprehensive Planning Division. On behalf of the entire project team, I am very excited to present the Envision Lakewood 2040 final draft plan for the Planning Commission public hearing on April 9th. This plan is a direct result of all the input from the extensive engagement process. So before getting into the details of the plan, I will begin with a recap of the engagement process. The community engagement process occurred throughout last year and involved ongoing coordination and collaboration with staff across the city, as well as extensive community engagement, support from 2 consultants, MIG and CDR Associates, and feedback from the Planning Commission and City Council. To spread the word about the project and get as many community members involved in the process as possible, the project team attended community meetings, hosted open houses, collected feedback through 2 surveys, reached out to the Lakewood Spanish-speaking community, met people where they were at through pop-up events, and kept project subscribers informed about updates and ways to participate through the project website, project newsletter, and all other city channels. Thank you to the hundreds of community members who stopped by our booths, participated in the activities, signed up for the newsletter, and shared your stories and perspectives on comp plan topics. In addition to these broad community-wide engagement activities, 3 City Council-appointed volunteer advisory groups were formed to have in-depth conversations with community members, planning commissioners, staff, and consultants about the vision, goals, and policy direction for the updated comprehensive plan. The 3 advisory groups were organized by topics. The first group was called Community and Quality of Life, the second group, Housing and Economy, and the third group, Transportation, Green Infrastructure, and Systems. Members were appointed by the Community Engagement Ad Hoc City Council Committee through an application and selection process in May of last year. The 47 Lakewood residents who volunteered to serve on the advisory groups were integral to the development of the plan and dedicated approximately 1,000 hours collectively, attending 13 advisory group meetings throughout 2024 and early 2025, reviewing and discussing draft language for this plan. Thank you to each advisory group member. Your time, thoughtfulness, and dedication to this process has helped ensure that the vision, values, and priorities outlined in the plan are reflective of the diverse perspectives throughout Lakewood. And thank you to the planning commissioners who are part of the advisory groups, as well as all staff and consultants, CDR associates, and MIG who supported and contributed to the process. And here are some of the engagement numbers as a snapshot. For example, 85,000 postcards were mailed out, providing over 92,000 words of feedback. So that was a very quick recap of the engagement process. All of the input, feedback, stories, perspectives we heard throughout the process is now reflected within the final draft of the Envision Lakewood 2040 Comprehensive Plan, which we will now discuss. To kick off the public hearings, the fully formatted final draft version of the plan is ready, which we are all very excited about. As we have described in previous presentations, the version of the draft that was shared for the study sessions included just the policy text, which is the essence of the plan. The formatted draft shared for the April 9th Planning Commission hearing includes the final policy text based on feedback during the study session process, as well as formatting, images, and supplemental narrative. To clarify, the policy text, again, which are the core elements of the plan and have been presented previously, have not changed with the formatted version of the draft. The only policy text that has changed has been the minor edits requested by Planning Commission and City Council. The Envision Lakewood 2040 plan is a direct result of the valuable input, stories, and diverse perspectives gathered throughout the engagement process. This plan reflects input from several groups, including the advisory group members, community members, staff, consultants, technical information such as data and existing conditions, other city plans and regulations, City Council, and Planning Commission by participating in the advisory group process. The vision, values, and priorities of the plan are organized into two core elements, the vision elements and the future land use elements. The vision elements include the vision statement, guiding principles, goals, and strategies. The future land use elements include the future land use map and 9 future land use categories. The first of these foundational elements is the draft vision elements, which include the vision statement, 5 guiding principles, 25 goals, and 160 strategies. Together, these define the shared vision, goals, and priorities for the city over the next 15 years. The vision statement is a concise, aspirational statement that articulates the desired future for Lakewood by describing the high-level vision and values for the city over the next 15 years. The current draft vision statement is Lakewood is a welcoming, safe, inclusive, sustainable, and innovative community with thriving neighborhoods, attainable housing, economic opportunity, inspiring parks, and vibrant cultural amenities. The city worked with local artist El Pal to illustrate the vision statement, showing Lakewood-specific locations and amenities. This illustration is now incorporated into the fully formatted draft plan. Guiding principles expand on the vision statement by outlining 5 core values that guide all decisions related to implementing the plan. The guiding principles provide formal statements that commit the comprehensive plan and its implementation to furthering these values, promoting that every decision and action be taken with these in mind. These principles are reflected throughout all components of the comprehensive plan. The 5 principles are civic participation, community wellness and vitality, equity, opportunity and mobility, and sustainability and climate action. Stepping down to the next 2 levels are goals and strategies. Goals are statements of desired high-level outcomes by 2040. They are intended to be as clear as possible so that we as a city know what we are working to accomplish. There are 25 draft goals. Strategies outline specific vetted approaches to achieve the comprehensive plan goals. Because of the interconnected nature of many goals, each strategy is designed to support implementation of one or more goals, serving as a roadmap to guide actions and decisions within the city. There are 160 draft strategies. The full list of strategies in numerical order are now included in the plan. The goal and strategies have also been renumbered for the final formatted plan. Please see the numbering change reference document included on Lakewood Speaks. The relationship between goals and strategies is different from the last comprehensive plan. In the 2015 comprehensive plan, each goal had a set of action steps that were only listed under that goal. This updated plan uses a different approach that addresses the interconnected nature of these plan topics. This means that many strategies will be repeated under several goals, and this is intentional. The vision elements are then reinforced and geographically mapped through the future land use elements. This includes the draft future land use map and the 9 future land use categories. Together, these provide guidance for the future land use patterns in the city and inform the zoning ordinance update. The 9 future land use categories include community hub, neighborhood hub, community corridor, neighborhood corridor, low form residential, mid form residential, campus, production and innovation, and parks and open space. The community hub, neighborhood hub, community corridor, and neighborhood corridor categories provide guidance on the spatial arrangement of the mixed use and commercial areas with the nodal hubs and the linear corridors. The scale of the market service areas are also incorporated with the use of community and neighborhood. The 2 residential categories, low form residential and mid form residential, correspond approximately to residential scale and density. These take into account the recent state laws and directly inform the zoning ordinance updates. As part of the study session meetings, both Planning Commission and City Council shared specific edits to the draft vision elements. Most requested changes have been incorporated. To incorporate metrics into some of the requested strategies, the phrase science-based targets was added. The terms reduce or minimize in some of the strategies were also replaced with eliminate in several cases. During the February 12th Planning Commission study session, there were many questions about the plan to develop the implementation framework for the comprehensive plan as a next step. The following slides provide a little bit more detail on this process. As Roger mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, the implementation phase of the process will occur throughout the lifespan of the plan during phase 4. Developing a framework and structure for implementation is a critical first step, and this will begin after the vision, values, and priorities outlined in the comprehensive plan is adopted. Implementation details will be described in a separate document, the Envision Lakewood 2040 Implementation Framework. This document will include data-driven targets for each guiding principle, as well as qualitative and quantitative metrics to measure and track progress. It is important to clarify that incorporating data and metrics into the implementation tracking for the comprehensive plan is new for Lakewood and comprehensive plans in general. The previous 2015 comprehensive plan only relied on one metric: how many action steps were completed. This proved to be a tricky measurement because many of the action steps were written as ongoing, which meant that the work could not be marked complete. So this was not a meaningful way to gauge progress, and we have learned that there is a lot of value in incorporating science-based metrics and targets into this updated comprehensive plan. But this needs to be done thoughtfully and holistically. There have been a lot of questions about implementation from survey responses, advisory group members, and Planning Commission. And many of these questions are directly related to what happens to the sustainability plan metrics and targets. The plan is to incorporate many of these into the comprehensive plan implementation framework, but other topics such as housing, homelessness, art, parks and recreation, transportation, and safety, to name a few, are also a part of the comprehensive plan, and thought needs to go into what metrics could be used for these goals. Some goals and topics are more qualitative than quantitative, and we don't want to just add in metrics just to add in metrics. We need to understand what data we can consistently track. What data is staff already tracking routinely? What data is important to start tracking? What metrics are already a part of other city plans? And what are regional metrics related to these topics? Staff will be working through all of these questions and more after the plan is adopted throughout this summer and fall. Having the implementation framework live as a separate document allows for iterative refinement based on measured impact and agility to adapt to changing conditions. The first iteration of the comprehensive plan implementation framework will include guidance for near-term implementation actions, and this will be developed and presented to Planning Commission and City Council within approximately 6 months of the adoption of the comprehensive plan. Thank you again to everyone who has been a part of developing the Envision Lakewood 2040 comprehensive plan. On behalf of the entire project team, we are truly excited and proud of this plan, and staff respectfully requests that Planning Commission adopt the Envision Lakewood 2040 comprehensive plan. Thank you for watching the presentation.